the incredibly talented Laverne Cox. Look at this.
This is insane.
You are
this
insane.
This is insane. I'm like, but when you think about Grace Jones,
yes,
back in the day, she would go on these talk shows. Look, you go on YouTube. She'd wear these crazy, but haute couture, fabulous looks with amazing hats.
Yes, and there we go.
And so why not?
And
why
so
not?
you had to do it. I have to tell you,
yes,
I have to say I'm very disappointed in you, Laverne, because I am not going to get to see every look. This is the last week of Fashion Week, and I'm not gonna be able to see your looks every day like I used to. I'm just now, and I'm so upset with you, but I want to know, and hopefully you can alleviate that. I want to see you every day in like a look. But yes, I do.
Thank you.
So, what inspired this beautiful outfit right here?
It's so funny. God, things align. So literally, this was, the story behind the look is the beehive is buzzing.
Okay.
And it's a salute to Beyonce finally winning Album of the Year at the Grammys.
Oh, because look.
Yes. And so this is from Alexander McQueen, spring 2013, Sarah Burton's honeycomb look. Oh, yes.
Okay.
Her honeycomb look, thus the bee, Beyonce and the beehive.
Yes.
And Beyonce wore a customized version of it, a more encrusted, high-end version of it on the Renaissance tour that we saw in that photo just now.
Well, you got it. You.
Beyonce,
perfect.
Beehive. Any beehive in the house?
Is there any beehive in the house? We got some beehive in the house. And that's what, see, I didn't think I would meet a bigger Beyonce fan. I'm such a huge Beyonce fan. But then here you are, Laverne. So are you part of the beehive? You have your code?
I have not been given a code.
Okay.
But I claim being a part of the beehive because I am hardcore. I love her. She's a genius. She's a singular artist. I've loved her since Destiny's Child. I used to have the micro braids back in the day.
Yes.
The music, the visuals, she's the best performer in the world.
Yes.
And anyone who, let's not even the critiques are BS. The voice, she's saying the voice is so beautiful. And when I remember when people were asking me before Renaissance came out, I was like, I just want to hear more of her voice. And the runs, Plastic Off My Sofa, is so, every time I hear it, I cry. And like, this was my song for well, it wasn't the official song of my last relationship, but it reminded me of my boyfriend and me.
Yes.
And we're broken up now, and it came on, I was at a photo shoot, and Plastic Off My Sofa came on, and I just started crying. Every time she did in the concert, I only saw it 3 times. Yeah. But that whole section,
you were just
I was just
gushing.
like, gushing. And then I was at the birthday show, and Diana Ross came out, and Kendrick Lamar came out. Girl, it's like
Did
Beyonce,
you almost pass out?
Yes, she wears me out. So for me, because it's like church.
Yes.
It's like a revival. You're singing along. It's fun. It's sexy. You're dancing and doing the choreography. Then you get real tired, and she's still going. And I'm like, how is she still going? I'm sweating and I'm crying, and it's too much. I'm still not over the other show, and she has another one.
Okay, we're gonna have to get Laverne some Xanax. It's just too. Beyonce is taking her to a place almost of no return.
Coachella. When I was at Coachella. Anyway, we're supposed to talk about other stuff. Like, literally, I'm crying and I leave my body and I go, it's church. It's church.
But here's the thing, and I know that looking out into the audience and seeing you there, I know that she's got to leave her body too, because to be doing what she does for a living legend as yourself, I mean, I don't know what that would feel like to her, and I'm sure the feeling is mutual, but I have to say, giving you your flowers, you are so amazing. You're the first openly trans person to win a Daytime Emmy. You are the first to have a wax figure at Madame Tussauds. You are the first on the cover of British Vogue. And let me tell you something, girl. You got your own Barbie doll. You have your own Barbie doll. So, if the little Laverne who was in, is it,
Mobile, Alabama.
Mobile,
where Clean
Alabama.
Slate is set.
Okay, in Alabama, that little Laverne, did she see all of the stuff that would have been happening for Big Laverne?
Absolutely.
Yes?
Absolutely. You have to see it first, and you have to visualize it first before the world can see it. And I, for years, so like I didn't have my breakout moment in my career till I was 40. I booked Orange is the New Black when I was 40. It came out when I was 41 years old.
Yeah.
I moved to New York in 1993. Orange came out in 2013. That was 20 years.
Wow.
And so I came here for college, and I thought I would be a superstar in 2-3 years tops, right? And it took 20 years, and it taught me it's God's time, not my time.
Yes.
It comes when you're ready, and I love what I do. I really love acting, and when I realized many years ago that part of my job is to be of service.
Yes.
When it became not about my ego and wanting to be famous and to teach all the bullies, that it was about being of service, that's when the universe switched up and aligned, because it's bigger than me.
It's bigger than you.
It's bigger than me.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You feel like, I always feel like that too, because I didn't get this talk show didn't come until I was in my 50s, but I wanted it when I was in my 20s. Now, do you feel like you can appreciate the reality of this dream more now than if you had gotten it in 2 to 3 years?
Absolutely, and I know if it had happened in my 20s, you see all those celebrities crashing out, going to rehab.
Absolutely.
I'm not sure I'd still be alive, because I was so, and we see this in Clean Slate, it's semi-autobiographical. I was so traumatized by my childhood and just hadn't worked through so much. And so even at 40, it was a lot.
Yeah.
So in my 20s, girl, I would have been a mess. I would have been on TMZ and it just crashing out and go in and out of rehab. And
honey, I'm telling you, if it had happened for me in my 20s, they'd have been like, what freak-off party was Sherri not at? Okay? That's what it would have been for me. It had to be here. Ain't nobody invite me to no damn freak-offs at no 50. I can't even get off my knees, okay?
Even in my 20s, I've realized that my girlfriends were like, you're kind of vanilla. Even in my 20s, from what I've heard, that was not my tea. No.
I love it. And I love the fact that, because you talk about, going through so much, but now you are doing comedy, and comedy it's letting go. It's taking pain and making that funny, and you're doing it so beautifully on Clean Slate.
Thank you.
This is I love seeing you in this lane of being funny and being loose and wild. Tell me about Clean Slate.
So Clean Slate is a show. It's currently streaming on Prime Video. It's about a woman who left Mobile, Alabama when she was 17 because she was bullied and she didn't think she would survive. She moved to New York. Let me just, for this part. She moved to New York, and she keeps finding herself choosing unavailable men, and her therapist suggests that she go back to the source of the first unavailable man in her life, her father. So she goes back to Mobile, Alabama. George Wallace plays my dad, and it's about us reconnecting, trying to heal, and doing it with a lot of laughter. And to play opposite George Wallace, a legend, I learned so much. It was also intimidating, but then I also, as an actor, I endowed him as my father. So there was also this like daddy intimidation. You didn't love, I put all my backstory. If you didn't love me, you didn't protect me as a child. So it was so complicated, but he's hilarious, as we all know, but he has a really huge heart.
Yes,
can we start manifesting an Emmy nomination for George Wallace?
Yes, we would love to do that. And I love this, that you created, you executive produced this show, and you're bringing your life to it. And George is bringing his, I picture it's like a funny was it All in the Family? Remember with Archie Bunker? Yeah. But you also work with the great Norman Lear. Yeah. Did Norman Lear give you any advice?
So Norman Lear, the late great Norman Lear, was a co-executive producer on this, and really, he was just. He told me I wasn't funny once. That was good. I mean, so our first pitch meeting with Norman Lear, which is incredible, Norman starts the pitch, he's like, we have this great talent, Laverne Cox and George Wallace, why don't you improvise a scene from the pilot? And I'm like, we hadn't discussed this.
Yes.
So we do it, and and then we're debriefing after the meeting, and Norman was like, okay, what you just did, that was good, but next time, can you do that, but funny? And can I tell you, my insides just like melted, and I felt so small, but I was like, okay, this is the, and the next time, he laughed.
Okay.
And allegedly it was funny, and we have a show.
Yeah.
So,
if it wasn't funny, you wouldn't have had a show. If you weren't funny, they don't.
and it's all about leading with humor. There's
Yes.
Norman, the genius of Norman Lear is that there were a lot of social issues, hot button issues of the time, but you always led with humor.
That's it.
And it's all about, can we laugh about it? Can we not take ourselves so seriously? And through the laughter, can we humanize and rehumanize people who may have been
right.
dehumanized? That's Norman Lear. That's Clean
And that is
Slate.
Norman Lear. And that is Laverne Cox. And before we go, because I really want to thank you for being here, I know that you did not get a code, but I know you got a code. And I know if you just go, and because you in there with the beehive, with the bee, the queen bee, if you just go and check your emails, because you're not using that code, Laverne, send that code to me so I can be over in Paris with you. So I'm just saying, I know you got that code.
Now, girl, I'm not confirming or denying a code.
All right.
But if there was a code, I'm keeping the code.
Okay. It sounds like we about to fight over this one. I'm gonna get that code. If I got to rip that hat off Laverne Cox's head, I'm gonna get that code. Cause she probably got the code right on top of her head underneath the code. I love you and I thank you for coming and joining me.
Congratulations on all this.
Thank you. I want you all to watch episodes of Laverne's show, Clean Slate. It's on Prime Video right now.
We're gonna have a good time. We're gonna have a good time.